Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to do like a quick roundout of all the series that I really need to finish. I'm going to try to finish them this year. Probably not going to happen. But still, why not? So first and foremost, I was going to include my last book of the Fallen here, but I sincerely doubt that I'm going to read all these 7 books that I have left this year. I doubt it. I really doubt it. I'm going to include it. I'll try. I'm going to continue reading the series, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I sincerely doubt it. I'm just going to include here series that are finished, basically. So nothing that it hasn't already come out, or a series that's going to end next year, or a series that I need to catch up. No. Finished series that I haven't finished yet. So without further ado, let's just get started. So the first one is kind of my greatest shame, not gonna lie, but I really need to finish The First Law by Joe Abercrombie. I only need to read the last book. But see, as someone who really likes plot-driven books, reading The First Law is a struggle for me. I know they are good. I know they are good literature. I know you love the characters. I like them too. But no plot. Literally no plot. I really want to get into the standalones because many of you have told me that they are more plot heavy than the original trilogy, so I'm excited for that, and that's why I want to really push and read this one, because holy shit, it's been so long since I've read the first 2. But I really want to finish this. I've said it, I think on the video that I did 21 series for 2021, I believe I've talked about this, but I do really want to finish it. It's just, it's long, and it doesn't have any plot, so it's hard. Then we have here The Chronicles of the Unheim Throne by Brian Staveley. Why haven't I finished this book? I have no fucking idea, honestly. Well, this series. I really want to finish it this year, like the sooner the better, because there's another trilogy coming out set in this world. So I really need to read this. I also really want to read the prequel, which is Skull something. I'm not really sure right now, but it has already come out. I really need to read that also. But I'm a mess. I really like the first 2 books, super underrated fantasy trilogy, but I just haven't read the last one for reasons. Like, I just don't like finishing trilogies, you know? I like to keep my options open. So I don't really like to finish them. Another book that is going to be the end of a quartet actually is Ascendance Right by David Hare, book 4 in the Moontide Quartet. Actually, I really want to finish this series. Like, I'm really curious to see how it's going to end, because I've seen so many people liking the ending, but not something with a particular character. I think I know where that's going. I'm not sure if it's like, if I'm ready. I think it has something to do with my favorite character. I'm confused in there. But still, I really want to finish this because it's kind of one of my favorite series in the fantasy genre, but I really disliked book 3. Still, I have high hopes for book 4. I will read this one soon. That I can promise, because I really want to get to the Sunsearch trilogy. So they are gigantic, like, they are so fucking big. I don't think I've talked about this series a lot here, but this is book 2 in The Last Policeman by Ben H. Winters. And this is basically about our world, but it's going to be struck by a meteor and it's going to destroy everything. And we follow like a policeman that is, instead of panicking, he's trying to solve a murder. The setting is super interesting, you know, and the longer we get into the book, the closer the meteor gets. And that's the chapters, you know, like getting closer and closer. So I'm curious, you know, I kind of see where it's going to end, you know, I can imagine. But still, I'm quite curious to continue. So yeah, yes. And Ember in the Ashes Quartet. I need to finish book 3 and then read book 4. This is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabbath here. And let me tell you something, I did really enjoy this series more than I thought. Like, the first 2 books were much better than what I had in mind. I'm quite curious to see how it ends though. There were some things in book 2 that I was like really liking, and others that was like, are we sure about this? But you know what? I really want to finish this series. Then I made a promise to myself that I was going to finish The Wheel of Time this year. I'm just stuck in book 7 because I'm scared of this slump from book 7 till 10. I know it's not going to be a huge deal, I'm still scared though. So that's the only reason why I'm not reading this. You know what? I should just grab this book today and studied it and fuck it. Because you know what? I actually read these books really fast. I don't know why, probably because of the descriptive language. It kind of slips my mind, you know? I'm not someone who really gets stuck with how the environment looks, besides like the general idea. So I probably just, in my brain, skim those parts, even though I read them. I always read these books in like 2 or 3 days, and they are quite big, you know? It doesn't seem like that, but this has 745 pages. Like, it's a long book, you know? But still, I will finish this series this month. Like, not this month, this year. This month. I also really want to finish the Ash and Sand Trilogy by Richard Nell. I've already read the first 2 books. Well, I need to finish book 2, but I will finish it soon. And I really want to read the third one. It's a series that I have read like really constantly, which is like different from what I usually do, but I really want to get into the third one. I'm just sad that it doesn't have an audiobook, so I'd rather listen to the series than read it. It's easier for me. But yeah, this is quite a dark series. It's not too dark, but it's quite of a dark fantasy, and I really like it. Then I will also really like to finish the Winternight Trilogy by Catherine Arden. I have read the first book, The Burning Nightingale, and really liked it. It was such a surprise. Oh, it has a fucking sticker. And I think it's one that you cannot take out. So stupid. But yeah, I really liked the first one. It was such a surprise. I thought I wasn't going to like it, if I'm being honest, because it's quite lyrical, but it was great. It was in a great point between like plot and lyrical writing, and I really enjoyed it. The atmosphere was top-notch. I also love Small Spaces and Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. Those middle grade books are top-notch. But yeah, I really need to read this. Like, I really need to read this. Then I really need to finish the Chasing Graves Trilogy by Ben Gali. I have read books 1 and 2. I just really need to read the third book. I don't own it yet. I have it on Kindle, but I want the physical copy because I have the physical edition of the other 2 books. So I need it, and I will read it once I get it, basically. But I really, really like this series. It's a self-published series that has great quality inside. Like, it feels like a traditionally published book. It's great. I highly recommend that you try it. It's also quite dark, but it's a lot of fun. Like, I really like it. It has some humor here and there that I really like, but yeah, 100% you should try it. It's really good. Then the kind of only exception to this list, because the book is coming out this week, The Chronicles of the Bitch Queen by K.S. Villoso. Hear me out. I started this book. I didn't finish it, the second one, because I was in a really weird slump where I wasn't really feeling reading physically. So I stopped it. I got the audiobook. I got the audiobook, right? I believe so. But I really want to continue the series, and I will probably just get the audiobooks for also the third book. But I'm really excited. I really, really like book 1, and I was really liking what I was reading in this book. The thing is, I was just in such a weird slump, you know. That's it. But I highly recommend this series. It's Filipino inspired. It's dark. Can we call this dark fantasy? I don't think so. But the first one is weird. It's a weird book. It's not filled with, even though it's the Chronicles of the Witch Queen, we don't spend any time at court. It's kind of an adventure novel, which is weird, but it worked for me. But careful with that, you know, just letting you know. Okay, don't kill me. Like, don't come at me. Like, I know this is, well, I'm not ashamed of this one, actually. Like, fuck it. I also need to finish fucking Red Rising by Pierce Brown, because honestly, I didn't like Red Rising. I did really like Golden Sun, but I still need to read Morning Sun. It's been so long since I've read Golden Sun that I'm just like, what happened? I only remember the feeling of really liking it because it's really different from book 1. I didn't like book 1. I think I gave it 4 stars out of pure pressure and because one of my best friends loved this series, but it's not true. It's a 3 at its best. I can barely stand Darrow, honestly. It's not as bad as Tao, but I can barely stand him. And it's just so full of cliches, the first book. I just can't, you know, it's like an easy read. I get that. But I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I know so many of you love this series, but I just can't. I still really want to finish this because many people that love the first trilogy don't like the second one, and I have a feeling that I'm going to like the second trilogy. So I really want to get into that. But for that, I need to finish Morningstar. Then I would also love to finish the Interdependency series by John Scalzi this year. Like, I think that for sure I'm going to finish this year. I'm going to read the second book probably quite soon, and then I will just jump into the third one because they are super small. I'm really in the sci-fi mood lately, so I think it's going to be a perfect time to just squeeze this in because my finals are there, like so close, and I never read physically when I'm on the middle of my final terms, you know? Probably audiobooks and probably this one. Short, sweet, probably this one. But this series is great and it's highly underrated. Even though it's written by John Scalzi. Everyone prefers Almond's War, and I just much prefer the Interdependency series. Then again, please don't hate me, I also need to finish the Broken Earth Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I think I'm going to finish this on the readathon that is happening quite soon, I believe. One of my friends is one of the co-hosts, and I just really want to try it. I will link the readathon down below. I think the video announcement has already been made. I just saw something on Twitter and was just like, okay, I'm joining. I'll probably read the first book and then just continue with the read along. Probably, but yeah, I need to finish this year. Like, it's so many people love this series. I have a weird relationship with N.K. Jemisin. I love the city we became. And I tried to read the Inheritance Trilogy and The Killing Moon so many times that I couldn't just get into them, but I will try again. I'll try again because I want to like them. I would also really like to finish the Shadow Realms by Cinda Williams-Chima because I loved the previous quartet. I thought it was fucking great. You know, I didn't read Cinda Williams-Chima when I was a teenager. I just grabbed them as an adult. I thought the first book, The Demon King, was okay. But from there, so fucking good. Like, I read every single one of the next books in a day. Each one, because they were so good. Then I jumped into the next series, and I just don't like the characters that much. So I read the first two books. I still need to read Stormcaster, I believe. Is the second one? No, the third one. I believe so, but I still need to read that one. I'm a little bit iffy about it. I like the second one, but I really want to finish it because, you know, I love the first quartet so much that I really want to finish this one. Then, of course, I want to finish every single series by Robin Hobb that I can. I'm going to start, you know, by finishing the Farseer Trilogy. This is Royal Assassin, book 2. I still need to read this, but I will read this one soon because it's part of my TBR for the Reddit bingo. So I will read it soon. You know, I'm not going to say anything else. Yeah, I'm just so ashamed that I haven't finished this. Like, it's one of the few series that I'm just like, I'm so ashamed. Like, so ashamed. But I really like book 1. I believe that they only get better and better and better. Especially the Matships trilogy, I believe it's called. So I'm really excited. But I will 100% continue. Like, they are getting bigger and bigger also. But I will 100% continue. Then, of course, I'm just too lazy to grab the book. But I also really want to finish Market of Monsters by Rebecca Schaffer. I have the third book. I just need to read it, honestly. When Villains Rise. Like, I only need to read that and I'm done. And I love the series. Just super underrated, like urban fantasy. Highly recommend that one if you're looking for a fast read. The first one is great. It's kind of Dexter meets The Savage Song. Great. Also, I would really like to finish The Raven's Mark. Because if I don't like book 2, I will just DNF the series overall by Ed McDonald. I enjoyed book 1. I wasn't a huge fan of it, so I'm curious to see how my feelings are with book 2. If I don't enjoy book 2, I will just DNF the series for good. But it's a pretty grim, dark fantasy series. It's kind of fantasy, but feels like urban fantasy, but it has a little bit of horror, but it has a little bit of fantasy, but it has a little bit of sci-fi also. It's weird. It's a weird one. I like the concept. I didn't like the execution on book 1, but we'll see. The last one that I would really like to finish is the Conqueror Saga by Kirsten White. I don't think I've ever talked about this series, but I read In a Darkened and I really liked it. Believe me, no one is more surprised than me. I thought it was great, even though it's just historical fiction. It doesn't have anything, like, at least for what I remember, it didn't have any magic at all. So I still really liked it, and I really want to finish it. The same thing, if I don't like book 2, I will just DNF the series and be done with it because it's been so long since I read book 1. But I really want to continue. I still have that feeling that I'm going to like it. So that's a great sign. Like, that's a great sign. But yeah, please let me know which series I should prioritize. I know that so many of you are going to say Red Rising. I know. I'll try. Just like, it's difficult, okay? It's difficult. But please let me know which ones have you finished also. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.